This has everybody crashing out as Tom Thibodeau's recent decision-making mixed with a lot of post-game comments from New York Knicks players, head coach Tom Thibodeau, and some really, really wild choices by the team that just made absolutely no sense for the Knicks, have led to fans losing their minds. We're all crashing out right now. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. Guys, if you're part of that 73% that's not subscribed and you're watching these videos, what are you doing, man? Subscribe to Knicks Digest. We got all the great content that you do not want to miss out on. We're having a bunch of fun making these videos. I know, obviously, things are a little bit rough right now, but still, we're going to have fun on Knicks Digest regardless because, well, this man right here made a decision, all right? He actually made a lot of decisions, and a lot of them weren't good. But the New York Knicks now find themselves down 3-1 against the Indiana Pacers, and there's been a lot of comments surrounding this recent play by the New York Knicks, by the team. We've seen some comments from players, some from coaches, and then these are going to have fallout implications. I mean, I think many Knicks fans, myself included, don't really think the Knicks are going to win this series down 3-1. They absolutely can. It's totally possible that the New York Knicks can win these next 3 games. They're going home. They win this one in Game 5. You extend the series. Then you just got to win 2. You beat Indiana in Indiana, which you can do. You've been an excellent road team. All of a sudden, you're in Game 7. So it is possible. 3-1 is doable. Teams have done it before. There's a 4% chance of teams doing it when they get down 3-1. So I'm living with that 4% chance. I am. I'm going to sit on it, and I'm going to believe until I cannot believe anymore. It's what I've said against the Celtics as well. Until I cannot believe, until it's over, I'm going to believe in this team. But as to quote Eminem, things are never truly over until Lizzo sings. But, guys, there's been a bunch of comments surrounding the New York Knicks after the terrible decision-making. And first of all, shout out to Mitchell Robinson, because this man said, I feel like I got off to a slow start, especially in the first half. It started with me. I wasn't talking first. I'm the anchor of the defense. So if I'm not talking, nobody is. Come out with more energy. Get out there and try to get it done. Mitchell Robinson, by no means, should be taking any sort of blame. I understand this was not Mitchell Robinson's best game, but he was still great. He was still really impactful. He did everything you want Mitchell Robinson to do on the floor. Look, I don't like him guarding Myles Turner. I'd rather him guard Pascal Siakam, and the reasoning is because he wants to help off, and Myles Turner could shoot. I think it makes more sense to have Towns guard Myles Turner. In fact, I actually think it makes more sense to have Deuce start over Josh Hart instead, and also start over Mitch for that matter. But Tibbs is never going to give up the rebounding battle. He's not going to do that, so this is where we lie right now, and we need Mitchell Robinson to guard Pascal Siakam. So the Knicks don't have to really focus as much on that help defense situation. It's really infuriating to watch how the Knicks have played this series, and you can blame some players for it, as you absolutely should, but nobody deserves blame as much as head coach Tom Thibodeau here. Look, Tibbs' coach just an abysmal series. The reffing has been terrible, and I do have a bit of insight into why that is, and we are making that video, but that's a longer scaled video that I have to really research and everything, because whenever you're going to complain about the refs, you can't just go out there and whine for 8 minutes. So I need to make sure that we have all the stuff added up, that what needs to be talked about. That was not English, what I just said. But on top of that, we do have other news that is coming out soon as well on Knicks Digest, so stay tuned for all that. Make sure you're subscribed. But with this whole Knicks team, it was a depressing effort from them tonight. Or last night. I saw this team play, and they looked so promising, and then they just tried to play the Pacers game for absolutely zero reason. OG played well. He was aggressive. He couldn't shoot well, but he did play well overall. We saw Mitchell Robinson play really well, but he only played 19 minutes. Josh Hart played 36. Why even move Mitch to the starting lineup then, Tibbs? Why even move him? If you're going to still play him 19 minutes and you're going to play Josh Hart 36 minutes anyway when Josh Hart's having an atrocious game, what the hell are you doing? It does not make sense. It makes zero sense why the Knicks would go out there and do this. The rotations were ass backwards, and there was absolutely zero cohesive, coherent lineups. It's just such an angry, aggravating way to lose a series, is because you're throwing out random stuff and seeing what sticks. And when you see something work, for instance, DeLon Wright, you then bench him and you don't play him in the second half. Dude, DeLon Wright was the only one who looked like he was able to guard Tyrese Haliburton, so Tibido took him out. I mean, Josh Hart was playing terrible, and he played 36 minutes. He had one of the worst games I've ever seen Josh Hart play, and he just kept turning the ball over time and time and time again. He had 5 turnovers, dude. He had 5 turnovers. He kept fouling. It was just an ugly performance by Josh Hart, and the Knicks never went to DeLon Wright or Landry Shamet after DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet, OG, Karl-Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson. They were all working well, and the Knicks did not continue to go to that unit, and it made no sense because they're seeing something that works, and they're not doing it again while they're letting the Indiana Pacers play their game. Look, Andrew Nembhard played terribly, and when you look at it, again, Aaron Nesmith was just doing great, though it mostly came earlier on. However, still, he was playing well, and you just look at the way that Tyrese Haliburton and Pascal Siakam just murdered the Knicks tonight. I don't know why I keep saying tonight. I am filming this on Wednesday, May 28th, 12:46 p.m. This game was not tonight. This was last night. But it's just, it was ugly. We all know it was ugly. We've already talked about it. We don't have to harp on that statistical part of the game. But Tom Thibodeau was asked why he went to Landry Shamet after the Josh Hart fouled out. And after the Josh Hart, I can't speak, guys. I'm just sad from this loss. And he said we wanted more shooting just to see if we could get more threes up. And he said over Deuce, and Tibido said just a bit more size. I don't mind Landry Shamet going into the game. I just think Deuce should have been in there as well, and Josh Hart should not have in the first place. So that is where the real issue lies there from Tom Thibodeau. It's the real problem with this team. And I mean, you look at what Tibbs also had to say, and he's about the game entirely. He said, there's obviously some good, but also some things that we have to do a lot better. I don't think we had good grouping. We started slowly, but I thought there was a stretch in the first half where we settled down and we played well. We didn't close the second quarter. Now we come in with a deficit and we start the third without great energy, and you can't do that. Once it gets to double figures, now they've got more confidence. We've got to make sure that we play with the proper approach and intensity and force and be connected. The Knicks did none of those things. There was not one of those things that they did. They did not play connected. The grouping was terrible. Tibbs is right. And he's sugarcoating it. I don't know why. I don't understand why he's sugarcoating this. It makes no sense to me. He's an old school coach. He should be screaming at them. He should be saying this is not okay. This is not how teams in the Eastern Conference Finals should be reacting to being in the Eastern Conference Finals. It really feels like the Knicks beat the Celtics, then said, we did it! We accomplished our goal. Whatever now. Let's pack our bags and get ready for Cancun. That's what it felt like. Mitch hasn't done that. Deuce hasn't done that. But Tibbs won't play them. Maybe because Tibbs wants to go to Cancun. He's like, damn, I'm never coaching at this part of the year. I'm never in the conference finals. I don't like it. I want to go on vacation. Like, it's just so aggravating. It makes no sense. I'm just so... I'm just losing my mind trying to comprehend how Tom Thibodeau could be making these decisions over and over and over again that just make absolutely zero sense. And look, Josh Hart played a terrible game, and Tibbs kept going to him. And I understand that Josh Hart has been great, but Tibbs gives him way too long of a leash. As mentioned by David, Tibbs keeping him out there is a felony. Horrific coaching down the stretch. Plays, personnel. You literally have the clutch player of the year. Deuce is plus 43 in this playoffs. Had 2 fourth quarter minutes. Mitch is plus 22. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. There's no way that you could justify this. There is not a way to justify the Knicks doing this. And these quotes overall are not much better. With Karl-Anthony Towns saying, we didn't match their pace and inspiration, to we just didn't match what they came to do to start the game. Mitchell Robinson said they put in more intensity and that we should have matched it. Tibido saying we started the third quarter with great energy. Without great energy, we know that one where they got to play and their approach and intensity and force have to be better. Bridges flat out admitted that the Pacers just played harder than us. They came out with more fire. This wasn't some random snowy night in February on the back-to-back. This was game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Tommy Beer is absolutely right there. And the thing is, I have been very wishy-washy on if I want Tibbs to coach the team next year. I don't. I really do. I don't think he's a terrible coach. I don't think he fits this team at all. And the fact is, if you're having energy concerns with Tom Thibodeau as your coach, it means 2 things. One, Tom Thibodeau, a guy who's supposed to be someone who fires you up, is not doing that. So something's amiss here. Either he's lost the locker room or something weird is going on. 2, the other option is that he burned them out and that actually did happen, that they're burnt out and they just don't have the legs to keep going anymore. I mean, Jalen Brunson looks tired. He does. Brunson looks tired, and the Knicks don't give Brunson an offense. Tibbs doesn't do anything for Brunson. He just says, I don't know, go out there and be Jalen Brunson. Just figure it out on your own. You got it, bro. I trust you. We're just going to set you 75,000 screens and not have any set offense running at all. We're not going to run an offense. We're not going to set up in any way. We're going to freelance it. And we're going to use a bunch of screens. And if teams figure it out, I don't know, JB, you're good. You can figure it out, hopefully. And if not, I guess we'll lose. That is what the Knicks did. Because they expect to win on defense. And they're not doing that. And they have no offensive plan. So if they start to get beat on defense and Jalen Brunson is getting swarmed, Tibbs just goes, whoops, guess we'll lose. It's unacceptable. And I think with the right team, the Knicks, Tibido could be a championship coach. And I think with the right coach, the Knicks are a championship team. I think there is valid concern that Jalen Brunson, being 6'1", you don't really win championships on scoring guards, but who are under 6'3" outside of Steph Curry. But this is a stacked up team, in theory. You just have to run the personnel right. Josh Hart has to come off the bench. Deuce has to start. Cat has to be better at defense somehow. Or you just admit that you're an offensively minded team and you don't have an offensively minded head coach. And I think it's the latter. I think if you move on from Tibbs and get an offensively minded head coach, things would change very, very quickly in a very good way. Now, Josh Hart, who played horribly, said, it's tough to win against a team like that who turns those turnovers to points. I had like 4 or 5 just stupid turnovers. You did. You absolutely did. Josh Hart played terribly. And it's not Josh's fault that he played 36 minutes. It's Tibbs' fault. They have to hire an offensively minded head coach. They also just made the conference finals. So if Tibbs gets fired, I'd be pretty surprised. But we do have an update coming out on that in a few hours. So make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications to not miss that video and all the other great content that we have on Knicks Digest. Have a great day and go Knicks. I still believe.